Fantastic. How's it going, everyone? This is the first episode of the Midi Guitarist Channel, and my name is Kendall Johnson. I'm a film composer and filmmaker, and I do documentary film work and write music for film and TV and documentaries and things like that. And one thing that I noticed in this world was there's a lot of guitarists who want to be film composers, but I've come across a lot of guitarists that aren't very good at piano. So I stumbled across the Boss GM800, and that's what I'm using today with the Roland GK5 pickup. And they just released a new pedal, a new system, I think just last year. And I've used this type of setup before in the past, and it was kind of quirky and kind of clumsy, but this new system is really great. And what I love most about it is, even though I do play piano, I'm a guitarist first. And it's been awesome to use my guitar with a lot of the virtual instruments that I come to know and love and use all the time. So this channel is dedicated to helping other guitarists see what's possible, and then you get to decide if that's something that you want to use in your setup or not. So what I'm going to be doing is every single week, I'm going to be featuring a new library from every developer. Well, not every developer, but from a developer. And basically, what I have found that every library, every virtual instrument is slightly different and handles the pickup system different. And even amongst patches, some are really good and some aren't so good. And so be sure to subscribe, set up your alerts, do those things that people do with YouTube videos. Because it helps me know if it's being helpful, if these videos are being helpful. But then you get to see over time, hey, which libraries are really good and which libraries are a little bit quirky. And then if I'm starting out film scoring, if I'm a guitarist, I kind of know which libraries are strengths of mine or strengths to use with the guitar, and which libraries I might have to use the keyboard more often and have to work on that skill. So that's essentially what the Midi Guitarist Channel is, and this is the first episode. Thankful for you to be here. The first library that we're going to do is one of my favorite, the Spitfire Symphonic strings. And it's become a go-to string library of mine. It sounds great, it's easy to use, and there's some great patches in there. And so we're going to go through that library, not every single patch, not every single articulation. This isn't a library review. This is just to see how this works with the various libraries and patches. And so we're going to go through that today, and we're going to have some fun. So on that note, let's get started. All right, so first up, we're going to use the ensemble patch, and we're just going to see how it goes. I don't do this for all the videos, but I'm currently detuned just because that's how I like to play. But let's start with the longs, and we're going to go from there. Things you're gonna notice and see is, and I'm not trying to edge all this away, stuck notes, things like that, vibrations. These are good things for you to see and experience. Like, oh, like he's trying to play normal, trying to play like a guitarist. Some of the things stick. I just want you to know what you're getting into. But first of all, the longs sound really great and they work really nice. I feel like you have to do a lot of palm muting just to get those. Make sure that nothing sticks. Okay, hang on. All right, so the longs work really nice. They work great. The only thing you're going to run into is just the occasional stuck note, it seems like. So don't get crazy, that playing. You got to be really intentional of what you're doing. And before I forget, someone's probably already noticed, but you're like, hey, you're doing dynamics. How are you doing dynamics? So right now I'm using a expression pedal on the floor. And so I control that with my foot. I do that with piano too. I prefer to use my foot, and I think it's probably maybe as a guitarist, as opposed to using my finger to control the mod wheel. I'd really prefer rather using the foot. So one of the things that I love using is the spiccato short notes with guitar MIDI. It's actually fun. I feel like I can get better, more creative runs on guitar, just being a guitarist first, than I can on piano. So let's check it out. So far, I get a better response from the D string, the higher strings. When I'm using the lower strings, like you can't I'm not gonna play master puppets that. You can't play the same way. It's not going to work that way. Things are going to get missed, and if you get too fast, it's going to go crazy. But it's kind of the same on piano. Like if I'm trying to do a 16th note, just super fast, it's going to be hard for me to keep up with that finger. Some piano players are amazing, so I'm not excluding everyone. But what I'm saying is, in general, it is really hard. But it does do a really good job. See how it gets kind of lost here, as you. Yeah, so it's actually really responsive. The spiccato is doing a really nice job. One thing is you can't really slide really well. See if I did that. It just kind of picks the notes and makes it kind of sound wonky, so you gotta make sure to. Yeah, so the spiccatos on the symphonic strings sound really good. Even if there's a guitarist, you're like, okay, I want to do a great line. There you go. It's awesome. Now it has these little half-second shorts on guitar. Sounded really lovely. The pizzicatos on the ensembles for this I actually really enjoy playing it. Pizzicati are super lovely. They're fun to play. So far, if I'm using a guitar in my compositions to control MIDI, which I am, things like the pizzicato, staccato strings, I'm using those a lot. I probably will use my keyboard for a lot of the solo, the string lines, and you'll see why in a little bit. Legatos are a little bit tough playing on guitars, but we'll get to that in a second. So, Coligno patches. Heard that? You got some of your tremolos. So if you want to do something a little fun. There you go. This is the tremolo patches, so. Things like that. Little trills. Simple. You know, I'm probably not going to do multiple of that. Couple major seconds. All right, let's move now to the first violins. Now, obviously, as you can see with the violin patch, I'm going to have to play higher up. I can't play down here anymore because it's not an ensemble patch. So it is a violins, which they play higher up in the range. Sometimes there's a little bit of a stuck note just with a little ringing of the guitar. All right, here's the concertino long. Sounds really lovely. I actually really love the concertinos there. Here's the spitfires of just the violins. Spitfires sound wonderful. They're little half-second shorts again. Legatos. Colineos. And just cut down time the tremolos here. Come out in your minor or major second trills. Major second. Yep. See how sometimes it like hangs a note there. So yeah, for all the first violins, I'm going to skip the second violins because same patches in. But I did want to talk a little bit about the legatos. Legato on guitar, MIDI controlling gets a little bit complicated because on piano, it's very easy to kind of one and then hold to the next one. You get the nice legato movements and the scripting and the transitions and stuff. On guitar, you tend to lift off and then on to the next note. At least I do. And there's ways, obviously, that's not always the case, but it just requires a little bit actually different guitar playing. So here, I'll share with you. See how it's kind of almost like it's always starting the next note. It's not kind of a nice smooth legato like into the... See how that's kind of holding, there's a nice little transition there, whereas on guitar. So if I'm a guitarist playing and using this, I might not use legato patches. There'll be some I'll share in future videos, like the Appassionata strings, which is, I believe it's the performance legatos from this with some new recordings and things like that. But the legatos are really hard to get on guitar nicely, unless you like. See how I'm not moving my hand and my fingers. It's by keeping the note and picking it that way, you're able to get those legato transitions. But when you're playing guitar and you're hopping from one note to the other, it's almost like I'm playing like. And it's probably the guitarists that are better than me at being able to kind of hold one note and transition to the other. So, but those are just things to be aware of when you're playing with this. It gets kind of a little funky with the legato, with legatos. Jump to the violas. Same thing, higher register, but not as high. One thing I might do in lieu of doing a legato is I might actually use the lungs. And if I really want those legato transitions, what I might do is then use the lungs and then copy and paste that MIDI into the legato patch and then fix it that way. If that makes sense, because it's more playable for me to do it. How does the spiccato on the violas, how do they sound? They work really great. Use the shorts. Some of the pizzicatos. One thing I like doing, honestly, when I do the pizzicatos is actually playing with my fingers. Makes it feel a little bit more authentic. Let's do the legatos for the viola. I'm not going to do every single patch of everything because then it starts turning into a library review, and I'm not trying to do a library review. What I'm just trying to do is show you how guitar works with the certain virtual instruments. So here's the legato of the violas here. Hear how it's kind of trying to restart every time. Maybe I'll just hold down. Yeah, scripting is really hard with the with legato performances, I've found so far, and you're kind of starting to hear that. So I don't know. Again, use the lungs, get the notes you need, go back and fix the MIDI, move that, and go from there. I think it'll be good. Here's how cello's long sound. The cello spiccatos. Yep. It's just but the there you go. Let's give those pizzicatos. Mm-hmm. One thing too I noticed, I forgot to mention that there's a little bit of a slight delay. I click my just ever. It's not right on. You still get a natural delay from going keyboard into your virtual instruments, and you can reduce that in the buffer. But even with the guitar, there's still a little bit additional, if that makes sense. So, up to the Colineos. Pretty sweet. See how legato stack up here. Not too bad, depending on the lines that you want to do. wants to end the note and start the next one. You can hear that. So legato's a little bit tough. Here's one thing I found, the double bass, the basses. Now you can see my lowest note. I still need to go another octave lower. So what I do is actually do a MIDI insert effect, and then I do a MIDI modifier. When I transpose, I add the MIDI modifier. Then what I do, bring it down, make it 12 there for one full octave. You can see that I'm almost full into the range. I could probably detune my guitar if I wanted to go a little bit lower. So this is the one that's in Cubase. I'm sure Logic has one. Digital Performer, Pro Tools. You just have to kind of research which one you want there. But here's what the bass sounds like. That was pretty awesome. Here's what the long flatando sounds like. Here's what the spiccato sound like for the bass. Kind of works tight. It's just a little bit lower, obviously. You get your pizzicatos, which are fun on the bass. There you go. So the pizzicato sounded really nice. Every other patch, with all the strings and everything, pretty well the same. And you got your tremolos too from double bass. Why not? Last but not least, there you go. Well, that's it for the Spitfire Symphonic strings. And so all in all, I'm really impressed with the library. It works really good. It sounds really good. Legatos have their quirks and things like that. All in all, this library and the way it works with the MIDI guitar, I definitely be using it. I'm using it in my compositions. And just knowing all those quirks, though, of, okay, this is what's going to be, what can I accomplish? Am I able to play a nice fast legato line that's at 180 beats per minute? I don't know why that high of beats per minute is coming to my brain, but if that's something you can do, if you're struggling with that, there's ways in which you can kind of figure some things out and then bring it back up to that tempo. So those are things that I would consider. So But all in all, I enjoy this library a lot with the MIDI guitar. And so if you're a guitarist and you suck at piano, or you don't like piano and you want to do film scoring or just use virtual instruments in your libraries, first of all, welcome to the Midi Guitarist channel, and know that there is hope. There is ways to do it, and I've been doing it here. And I think this is the start of, I don't want to say the future, but I think if there can be more exposure to the industry of what's possible, I think we can make this even better and even better and even better. That's my hope, at least. So if you found this channel helpful, please subscribe, set up your alerts so that every week you're getting the newest library that I'm featuring, and get to see how that works. And so there's some really cool libraries that I'm going to be featuring that are my favorites, and you get to see their strengths, you get to see their quirks and weaknesses, and all in all, it's really good fun. So again, links are all in the description. Any comments or questions, comment below, and I think that's about it. So blessings on the day, and thank you for being here.